again, Wayne Cameron. I want to talk about how to increase your range. Now, on the internet, there are multitudes of people who talk about how to play high. And most of them can play high. I'm retired from playing, so you're not going to see me screeching all around. But I'm going to give you some insights how you can increase your range. Now, I can't guarantee you'll be a double high C player like most people. They seem to think that everyone can play double high C. Well, if everybody could play double high C, everybody would play double high C. I call it your inherent strength factor. It's like if you, we've all known little skinny guys that were really strong. Look like they never worked out in their life, but they're really strong. And then we've seen these big hulking guys who can't even lift a coffee cup with coffee in it, and they're weak as a lamb. Well, that's what I call your inherent strength factor. Not everybody can press 500 pounds. I don't care how long they work on it. Not everybody can do that. If everybody could, all the weightlifters would. You get my point? If you have the strength and the natural talent to play double high C and above, then you probably know that by the time you're 14 or 15, whether you take lessons or not. Well, I'm not talking to you guys because you got range to start with. But don't go around telling people who don't have that kind of range how easy it is for everybody, because it's not. I'm talking to people who want to increase their range, have a good solid high C, high D, or high E flat that's usable in context. Now, here's what you need to understand. All the fundamentals that you've heard me talk about constantly, good air support, good firm corners, good tongue position, if those are not mastered, you will not have a good range. That's all there is to it. You can get trick mouthpieces, you can buy small bore trumpets, you can do all the things that you want to, but those are like putting Band-Aids on cancer. It really doesn't do you any good in the long run. You understand what I'm saying? You have to have incredible fundamentals. If you don't, you need to work on your fundamentals first. So when I talk about today, I'm assuming that you have worked on your fundamentals, and those three things that I constantly preach about, you have mastered to a large degree. So that's where we start from, okay? Now, let me ask you a question. If that was a house and that was the foundation, would you live in it? No, you'd be a fool. Because the foundation is so weak and the top is so heavy, it will fall over. Now, what I'm talking about the foundation in playing is from low F sharp to G on top of the staff. That's the way most people play. These notes here, that range there, low F sharp to G, they play very lazy. You've heard me talk about it before, lazy playing. Now, the house built like this is earthquake proof. It will not fall over. Are you with me? F sharp to G, if it is your foundation and it is absolutely solid as a brick, watch what happens. As that foundation gets stronger and stronger, look what happens to your range. It goes up. Now, there are all kinds of range books. I'm not saying you need to buy any books. The stronger your foundational range from low F sharp to G, until that is absolutely as strong as you can make it. And I don't mean loud, I'm talking about it's effortless. I mean, it's just, you can't remember the last time you missed a note in that area. You're not playing lazy, you're firming your embouchure up on every note, you're increasing your support on every note. You arch your tongue on every note. Until that happens, don't talk about increasing your range. Now the other thing about increasing your range, and I get phone calls all the time, Mr. Cameron, I hear you can help people increase their range. I said, well, I've had pretty good luck with that. Well, I need to increase my range. I asked them, I said, well, how many days a week do you practice? And they say, oh, I get in 3 or 4 days a week for about 45 minutes. I tell them, I said, well, I tell you what, when you haven't missed a day, practicing an hour a day minimum for 6 months, you call me back. You can't increase range and strength playing on 2 or 3 days a week. It's just not going to happen. And I know some guy that plays once a month and he can play double high Cs, and I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who never practices and he can just pick off high Fs out there. Okay, fine. Now, I don't doubt that. I've seen that. Are you that person? No. You can't take exceptions and make the rule out of exceptions. If you don't practice every day and build your strength and build your fundamentals, you will not have a range. That's just all there is to it. I mean, it's common sense. No trick mouthpiece is going to do it, although mouthpieces, a shallow mouthpiece, can help your range a little bit, but it won't compensate for bad habits or no habits. Okay. All right, now I'm assuming that you got this down. That register is really solid, absolutely solid. Now, here are my range studies. They're very, very simple. I devised them back in the early 1970s. I've had tremendous results with students who pursued this. I'm going to show you how it works. Now, you take a G major scale and you slur it up to G on top of the staff. Okay? Now when you get to the G at the top of the staff, you finger it first and third and keep it first and third all the way through A, B, and A. You don't use regular fingers, use alternate finger. Now this must be slurred. And you try to play this 3 times minimum, and then you hold the G first and third at the end. Now, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing what I've talked about endlessly, good support, increasing your air support on every note, arching on every note, you cannot play that. It's almost like a systems check in a computer. After you warm up, if you try to play this and you can't do that, something's wrong. You're leaving something out. Either your support's not correct, your tongue arch is too low, your embouchure is either too tight or too loose. This is a systems check. Okay? Now, let's say that you can play that easily. Okay, good. So what do you do then? You go to A flat scale, do the same thing. When you get to the top note, to A flat second, third, to B flat second, third, to high C at second, third, you do the same thing, up a half step. Then you go to A natural, do the same thing. The top A is first and second, the B is first and second, high C sharp is first and second, same thing. Are you getting a picture? Then you go to B flat, B natural, and C. When you get to C, the top note will be a high E above high C. Now here's the rule, and this is the important part. Let's say you get this, you do it 3 times. You A flat, you get that, high C is good. You get to the A, and the C sharp won't come out. So what you do, you take the horn down, you start over, you play it again. Thinking about all the fundamentals, and you still can't get the C sharp, then you try it a third time and you can't get the C sharp, that's as far as you go that day. You don't go any further. You don't go down here yet. 2 reasons. First of all, you shoot your lip when we're going to practice the rest of the day. And then you're practicing bad habits because you're leaving something out. Now, don't do what a lot of my students do. I call it one more time syndrome. They get so into it, they just got to get it no matter what. I got to get it no matter what. Well, see, that causes bad habits. You jam it through your face. You squeeze like that instead of supporting correctly. It causes bad habits. You can't be in a hurry. You cannot be in a hurry. Over 50 years of teaching, and this is a general observation, I've observed that if you gain a half step in your range a year, and what I mean a half step of gain, that you can really play it. It's not just, I squeaked it out one Sunday afternoon twice. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you can't remember the last time you missed it. That's gaining a half step. If you do that a year, that's incredible. You probably can gain more if it happens, but if you gain a half step of solid range in a year, in my opinion, you're doing pretty good. Okay, guys, great to see you.